Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to tackle one of the most notoriously complex topics in clinical medicine, hepatitis B serology. But instead of looking at it as some confusing jumble of letters and numbers to memorize, we're going to look at it as a fascinating, high-stakes battle between a virus and the human immune system. Let's dive right into this battlefield and decode exactly what is happening in the blood during every single phase of this viral war. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to systematically cover the virus and its antigens, the immune system's antibody defense, acute infection and that tricky window period, chronic infection dynamics, recovery versus immunization, and finally, the golden rules of hepatitis B serology. Let's get right into it. Part 1. The virus and its antigens. Let's start by taking a close look at the enemy troops. Let's actually break down the anatomy of this invader. Hepatitis B is a DNA virus. If we visually construct it from the outside in, step 1 is the outer protein capsule. This is made up of hepatitis B surface antigens. Picture those as little green molecules, right? Step 2, we dive deeper and find an inner protein core. These are the core antigens. Let's call them brown. Then, step 3, right in between that surface capsule and the inner core, we have the E antigens. Think of these as yellow. Now, these E antigens are super important because they're only released when the virus is actively replicating, so they act as a direct red flag for high infectivity. And finally, step 4, sitting right smack in the center of that inner core is the viral DNA itself. Now, here is a crucial number to keep in mind, 0. That's the exact amount of detectable hepatitis B core antigen, that brown inner core we just talked about, that you're ever going to find in a patient's serum. Why 0? Well, because it stays hidden deep inside the viral cell. Even if tiny little amounts somehow leak out, they're just too incredibly small to detect. So literally, no matter what stage of the disease your patient is in, the core antigen itself will never, ever pop up positive on a lab test. Moving on to part 2, antibodies, the immune defense. It's time to meet the body's counterattack. You know, the drama of this immune response is pretty fierce. Whenever antigens show up, the body forms antibodies to fight them. And the golden rule of this particular war is basically either I live or you live. We are not living together. What that means clinically is that an antigen and its specific counterantibody cannot both be positive at the exact same time. It's a zero-sum game. Either the antigen is winning and it's positive, or the antibody is winning and it's positive. Or, sure, they can both be negative while they're actively fighting it out in the trenches, but they will never, ever both be positive together. So, remember how I just said the core antigen itself is totally undetectable in the blood? Well, its counterantibody, the Anti-HBc, is absolutely detectable. See, the immune system is incredibly smart. It recognizes that hidden inner core and mounts a specific defense against it. So finding the specific antibody circulating in the plasma is a massive clue. It's undeniable proof that the body has in fact battled the actual fully intact virus. Now, we can actually divide this core antibody response into 2 distinct waves. First up, we've got IgM. These are the initial antibodies that form when the immune response first kicks into gear. They're these large, clunky complexes of 5 antibodies bound together, and they act as your definitive marker of an acute, fresh infection. On the flip side, we have IgG. These are the later stage veteran responders that eventually step in and replace the IgM. So IgG is your marker for a chronic or past infection. In the lab, we're usually measuring the total anti-HBc. If that total is high but the IgM is low, well, you instantly know those late-stage IgG troops have taken over the fight. All right, part 3, acute infection and the window period. Let's look at the very first active phase of this war. Let's see how this actually builds our clinical picture. During an acute infection, the virus has just breached the gates. Because we have a present infection, the hepatitis B surface antigen, the HBsAg, is positive. And since that antigen is positive, going back to our rule of war, its counter-antibody, the anti-HBs, has to be negative. The immune system is definitely making them, but they're being burned through and depleted in the fight immediately. Meanwhile, the body has formed those core antibodies, specifically those early IgM troops, so that marker is positive. The viral DNA is floating around in the blood, so the PCR is positive. And because the virus is actively replicating like crazy during this acute phase, those yellow E antigens are also positive, signaling high infectivity. But what happens when the battle reaches a dead tie? Think about it. Imagine a phase where the antibodies are just on the verge of winning. They've destroyed almost all the antigens and viruses in the blood, which drops the surface antigens below detectable levels. But the antibodies themselves are still being heavily utilized, and the new reinforcements haven't quite arrived in large enough numbers to be detectable either. So what exactly do those lab results look like then? Well, this brings us to a really fascinating plot twist called the window period. This is essentially a massive stalemate lasting about a month, where both of the main enemies, the surface antigen and the surface antibody, are completely undetectable in the plasma. They both just show up as negative. So how in the world do we crack the case during this window period if both surface markers are negative? The only proof that this intense, active battle just happened is the presence of our early responder core antibody, the IgM. That remains positive. The PCR might also still show up positive since trace amounts of viral DNA are lingering, but the E antigen, that goes negative because the virus knows it's losing the war and it's stopped actively replicating. So really, that IgM marker is your golden key to identifying the window period. Let's jump into part 4, chronic infection dynamics. What happens when the virus survives that acute phase and just digs in for a long-term siege? In a chronic infection, the virus is still heavily present in the body. So, once again, the surface antigen, HBsAg, is positive, and the free surface antibodies remain depleted and negative. The viral DNA is still hanging around, so PCR is positive. But look really closely at the core antibody here. The absolute crucial point that differentiates a chronic infection from an acute one is the shift in anti-HBc. We move from those early IgM responders to the long-term veteran IgG antibodies. If you're looking at a chart and you see a positive surface antigen paired with a positive IgG core antibody, you are definitively looking at a chronic infection. Now, even within that chronic phase, we still need to figure out how aggressively the virus is behaving. And this is exactly where those yellow E antigens come into play. If the virus is replicating rapidly, the patient has high infectivity, meaning the E antigen is positive and its counterantibody is negative. But during phases of low infectivity, the virus kind of quiets down. The E antigen drops to negative and its counterantibody, anti-HBe, can actually flip to positive. Moving right along to part 5, recovery versus immunization. We've seen the battle, but how do we actually achieve lasting peace? First, let's look at natural recovery. In this scenario, the immune system has completely won the war. It has wiped the virus from the body entirely. Because the virus is totally gone, the surface antigen is negative, and the viral DNA PCR is negative. So what's left behind? Only the victorious antibodies circulating in the plasma. The surface antibody is positive, the E antibody is positive, and super importantly, our veteran core antibody, the IgG, is positive. And this brings us to arguably the most critical clinical differentiator you can take away from this entire explainer. How do you actually tell if a patient is immune because they naturally fought off the virus, or if they're immune just because they got a vaccine? You look at the core antibody. Natural recovery leaves behind both surface antibodies and core antibodies. But with immunization, only the surface antibody is positive. The core antibody is totally negative. Why does it work like that? The logic is actually beautifully simple. The hepatitis B vaccine isn't just a whole weakened virus. It's genetically engineered in a lab to contain only those green outer surface antigens. There is absolutely no inner virus core anywhere inside that shot. And because your immune system was never exposed to a core antigen, it literally has zero reason to ever manufacture a core antibody. Make sense? Therefore, vaccine immunity equals surface antibodies only. All right, part 6, the golden rules of HBV serology. Let's wrap this explainer up by distilling everything down to the absolute essentials. Let's run through these golden rules to permanently anchor this logic in your brain. Rule 1, a positive surface antigen always means there is a present infection. Could be acute, could be chronic, but it's there. Rule 2, a positive core antibody always means the patient has been exposed to the actual whole virus at some point in their life. Rule 3, breaking down those core antibodies. IgM means it's an acute, early battle. IgG means it's a chronic or past war. Rule 4. The window period is the singular, unique time during an active infection where the surface antigen will falsely appear negative while the two armies are tied. And finally, Rule 5, a vaccine triggers only surface antibodies, nothing else. Which leads me to this final question for you to ponder. If a patient's chart shows only anti-HBs, the surface antibody, as positive, and absolutely everything else is completely negative, do you know exactly how they gained their immunity? Well, once you realize that the absence of a core antibody tells a story just as loudly as its presence, you've officially mastered the battlefield of hepatitis B. So next time you look at a serology chart, ask yourself, what other invisible wars has this patient's immune system fought and won?